Okay, so you've probably all noticed that a lot of preparing has gone into this next set. I'm sure you're all wondering what is going to happen, and there's only one way to find out. We are going to see Anke, aka frog.sand.glass. So I first met Anke as an artist. She does this beautiful artwork and beautiful animations with her sand moving around and with the sand and the light. And she's just made the most fabulous, beautiful pictures and the most fabulous, beautiful animation. And when she started putting poetry to her animation, the first time I got really emotional and I wanted to cry, but I didn't.
Very English of it.
Yes, I didn't. I'm well trained. And Anke is just such a beautiful artist and such a beautiful poet. She has such a love for humanity, and she's got such a gift to see through many different perspectives. She's got a great affinity with young people, and she's got a great affinity with people of different nationalities. She just sorts of moves around and sees through different eyes in a way that I don't think all poets can. I know I certainly can't. And she's just been such a great member of the Girls on Key team, and I can't believe we haven't featured her. I was thinking who to feature, and then I was like, hang on a fucking minute. We need to feature Anke, so we're going to roll this right. And sorry, Andrew's been sitting here patiently the whole time. He is part of Anke's duo. I'll let them introduce themselves. So let's give a big round of applause for Anke and Andrew.
Doesn't Laura just do the most glorious intros? You just have to feel like a rock star after that. And going up to Lauren, I got very nervous when I heard that I was going to do that. So this is Andrew. When we do stuff together ordinarily, and you'll hear some of the stuff that we do together tonight, we're the awkward strangers. I'm trying very hard not to do too much talking in between because we've actually got quite a big plan. So I'm just going to go straight into it. We got the go-ahead today from council. We can build the garden that we've already been building. We got the okay today. So this first one is for that garden. It's called Grow. Grow, plant a seed and let it grow. A wave of green, a verdant flow, kidney grass, no lawn to mow. Let it grow. Climb, wet the shoot and let it climb. Along the stakes, give it time. Feed the roots, enrich the grime. Let it climb. Flower, stand beneath and see the shower. Against the wall, a secret bower. Sit and watch, a day, an hour. Let it flower. Grow. Plant a seed and let it grow. A wave of green, a verdant flow. Kidney grass, no lawn to mow. Let it grow. We get to do the switcheroonie of the ukuleles, which seems to be part of our shtick. They all sound different. I don't play the ukulele. I play everything else, as you may have noticed. And my parents met in a circus. Apparently that explains a lot, I've been told. But yes, this song is called Tango Espresso. You may, if you know me well, or possibly already have noticed, my hands and head will shake. It's called essential tremor. So nice to have a name for these things, right? So the song is partially about that, but it's mostly a love song and a musing about one of Melbourne's favourite drinks.
Ah, thank you.
You are now. Hold me between your palms, beloved, or shall I hold you in mine? Let me make you shake, beloved. Let me make you shiver. Promise you'll grind me up, beloved, and stay to drip me down to the dark and bitter dregs, beloved. Let me make you tremble. Let me keep you up all night, beloved, and rock the bed with dreams. I'll bring the sweet raw sugar, beloved. You will bring the cream. Pick me, dry me, sort me, try me, bring me down from the highest mountains. Let us see if you have what it takes to process me to a strange relationship. Beloved, with coffee, but not with you. A strange relationship. Beloved, with coffee, but never with you. You can pick me up and slam me down from the stove top with not a drop of salt. You can prop me up or have me flat or pure or short or long. Let's vibrate together, beloved, essentially to either hate relationship, beloved, with coffee but not with you. A hate-love-hate relationship, beloved, with coffee but never with you. This next one, very quickly, we ended up buying a house and moving house on the very eve of the very, very first lockdown. So this poem came out of that, got written as part of the Dirty 30, I think, from memory. Yes. But it sort of works on a couple of levels. One of the references in it is something that came from our time in the Solomon Islands. The Melanesian and Polynesian people who do a lot of canoeing between islands, their language doesn't call that act of moving towards an island. It doesn't describe it that way. They describe it as pulling the island towards them. And doesn't that little change of language suddenly just flip your worldview? So this is about flipping worldview. Inland movement. The panicked rush over bridges and moats and yelling and hush calls across oceans, calls across walls. A still silent ear and warm pasta, boats and band-tired beer calls across fences, calls across walls. Dry, tumbling socks and t-shirts and coats and habits and rocks calls across class and calls and calls. I am inland moving, pulling the current, pulling it in. I am inland moving and not moving at all. The dance of bins and big wolves and goats and cabbages and sins, calls across windows, calls across walls. This one was written a little further ago. It's frighteningly topical. It's about, well, it got written because we play board games a lot, and I was told to write something about what was on the kitchen table, so I did then. But it turned into something that was a critique of geopolitical circumstances, which have only become more and more tense. Yep. Kill it. Poor Mike. Alas, poor Mike. You stand far enough back and yell a lot. Let us know if you can't hear us, basically.
What?
I'll use my outside voice. We'll be fine.
Tiny pieces placed in their spaces, moving about the table. Tiny pieces, tiny movements, representing fable. Tiny fables, little stories, making joy and laughter. Tiny battles, little play wars, make me worry after. Tiny actions, sky and fall, have changes to location. Tiny habits, rehearse combat, disassociation. Tiny drones with tiny loads kill tiny children often. Tiny pieces placed in their spaces, cradle, clockwork, coffin.
Yes, unfortunately, most of what I write is bloody depressing. It's part of what we do. This one's not so much. This one is a big memory of the Solomon Islands, the Happy Isles. They're currently experiencing their COVID waves, which in the developing world is a lot less clean. So we're thinking of them a lot, and we've got lots at home that reminds us of them. Island memories. Thunder rolls like a big fella memory. Lagoon blue, ocean lapping, manta ray and gigantic enormous flight blocks the sun. Shiny bottlenose, rocking in the surf, bug-eyed scales shoulder past, grass skirts rustle, carver bowl cooling in the shade. I look up. There are no fronds waving. I look down. I peek out of the halved and polished coconut shell stonefish. I bump the table, carved dolphin rocks. I finger the brass of belong me. Tiny teeth circle my heart, pulling loose gossamer threads of lagoon blue silk. A warm wooden manta ray between my palms. Small gifts, making big fella memories roll like thunder. Okay, this next one I'm not going to introduce at all. I will explain after. It's based on a meme. A letter. My many greats grandfather was named for a star. A strange twist of fate made him a miner in the wetland lowland far from firmament, far from the sky. Another many greats grandfather was named for the sea. A strange twist of fate made him a miner in the mountains, deepest heartland, far from the ocean, far from the waves. Together they brought to the air the coal, the iron, the steel. My many greats-grandmother had clever fingers to work for her family, her name unknown, as is the custom. Another many greats-grandmother had a clever mind, understood maths and sketched designs, her name unknown, etc. Together they brought to life an idea. None of my greats had met, even once, yet separate and apart before, together made one clock, a grand clock, in a four-sided painted iron case with all steel movement, count wheels striking for hours only, and phases of the moon aperture. Between them, these four fixed 16th century time in its place. And the clock ticked, and the clock struck, and the ghosts awoke inside their tower at the witching hour, moonlight bathing their dance in the dark. Then wars came and went, and came and went like the tides of the ocean, like the starlight across the night sky. The clock was taken from the mantelpiece in haste, in pieces, hidden in cellars, carted in carts under Hessian sacks over fields of battle, over fields of potato, nestled for years in a rich man's collection to be carried across the white cliffs of Dover, at last to the heart of the British Museum. Unmoored, the ghosts have been unquiet. My four greats amongst them now, wandering, searching in the day's cruel light, asking in the ways that only ghosts know how. What time is it? Wie viel Uhr ist es? Is it the time? Is the Zeit? What time is it? Wie viel Uhr ist es? What is the time? Was ist die Zeit? Dear Miss Jones, I beg your assistance. Return to its place this four-sided clock. Dear Miss Jones, I beg your assistance, that the ghosts might again awaken inside their tower at the witching hour, moonlight bathing their dance in the dark. Yours faithfully und hochachtungsvoll, Anke. Right? And so this one's based on a Twitter thread by a very clever chap called Sean Kelly. He's Sean Kelly at Story Slug. Follow him, just find some of his takes on Superman and Batman. He's got an interesting one on Spider-Man. Like, he's got some really interesting takes on popular culture. But he suggested an Indiana Jones sequel where his great-granddaughter in the present day pulls off elaborate museum heists with the aim of returning everything. India recovered to the people and countries they rightfully belong to begin with. He actually, like, it reads more like a novel or a film outline. Yeah, it's worth reading. But my challenge to you as writers, poets, and spoken word artists is go to a museum. Could be the British Museum, but it doesn't have to be. Find something that speaks to you that needs to go home. Write about it. As well as all the depressing stuff. The set, it seems to be mainly based on place. So this next one is about the very last time we got to go overseas and so on. Okay? But anyway, it happened to be Morocco. I suggested very, very much as a place to visit. So this is a bit of an ode to a place close to my heart. It's called The Caress of the Hand of the Land of Dusk. Fingerprints held for millennia speak to mine, as walls patted into shape, lean and merge and reshape to maze, bedazzle and entrap intruders. The stalk's wing stretches out, fingers and feathers like fingers of a hand, standing sentinel high on the wall, gold-rimmed eyes holding all the secrets behind it. The gate speaks of its own beauty. Sparrows flutter tossed into the wind, an apprentice places fractures blindly, hammering a soft blue heart with precision. A merchant pours all the variations of sunrise across his palms, and having tickled awake the desire, he now begins the great game, conjuring a waterfall of hot mint into the silver between his hands. Secret courtyards, hidden fountains behind doors and no windows are balanced in another quarter by open balconies ready to hold a sukkah. Outside in the dark velvet night, coins carpet the deep gaze of the galaxy. A thin glittering thread of humanity interrupts the caress of sky and sand. Shaping the mountains, a giant finger has written right to left, Zaha. And now, down a ladder of starlight, rippling over dunes, it leaves its fingerprint to write freedom. Here you go. This next one's a shorty. I'm just going to tell you the title. A picture book for the older me. More lines there and white hair. Smile oft. Kiss and kin, gift and send. Kiss, stop. Write and read, plant a seed, soul, soil. Dance and song, right and long, proud, toil. Climb and fall, stand up tall. Go, do, shake and roll. Let your soul name you. Hug and tend, tear and mend, hold tight. Dream and sleep, light and deep. Wake bright.
It's all good. I'm a professional. It's fine. You all right with that?
Fine.
Would you like me to unmute you?
The cow. Thank you.
Want to test?
This is me,
No,
and
sorry.
I'm not. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, so you may have heard this one before, the poem that is Captain Kindness. Some of us may have been in the room when I read it last. But Andrew took that poem and put it right in the center and then did this beautiful Baroque frame with, MC Universe characters and all kinds of stuff around the outside of it. So you're going to hear his voice deep, but promise, the poem's in the middle.
A cry goes out across the town, the river's up, the bridge is down, the train with all the school kids on, it's driverless, its brakes have gone, Professor Gloom has struck again, her evil plans and acumen, we need one of our super folk to undermine her master stroke, the train on track is low on traction, someone needs to spring to action, who will learn our gratitude, look who's here, it's Danger Dude. Speed that someone should take note of, powerful as a locomotive. Is he a bird? Is he a plane? No, he's the dude who just stopped the train. And the headlines acclaim the righteous, and the crowd cries unbelievable, and the hashtags are truthful and timeless. Forward to glory, forward to fame.
But my hero is Captain Kindness, inconspicuous, inconceivable. My hero is Captain Kindness, in the shadows of every frame.
Cry goes out across the town, security has broken down. At Acme's slant of chemical ooze, who's the fiend we can accuse? The big bad bandits caused a spill of filth that can mutate and kill. We need relief from our distress, a hero who can clean this mess. Streams of acid effluent sliver over slick cement. Who will save us from this plight? Look who's here, it's Ninja Knight. Where does she get all her wonderful toys? How does she use them without any noise? Or welding the tanks and expunging them too? Yes, she's the lady who's cleaned up the goo. And the headlines acclaim the righteous, and the crowd cries unbelievable. And the hashtags are truthful and timeless. Forward to glory, forward to fame.
But my hero is Captain Kindness, inconspicuous, inconceivable. My hero is Captain Kindness, in the shadows of every frame.
Entering data daily for the department, dutifully and with diligence, travelling by night in a heartbeat from moments of cruelty to places of violence, from hours of brutality to the instant of the latest abuse, but seconds before it happens. It's a superpower. The not yet victims are whisked away to cotton wool confused safety, but the perpetrator, the villain, is wrapped close, tight, in a cape smelling of sweet aged lavender, fuzzy with grandma's love, infused with stories and lullabies, hugging until it turns salty wet, hugging until the dam breaks.
And the headlines skate past the righteous, cause the crowd wants something believable. And the hashtags are mellow and mindless. Where is the glory? Where is the fame?
But my hero is Captain Kindness,
Inconspicuous, inconceivable. My hero is Captain Kindness. There in every single frame.
Inconspicuous, inconceivable. My hero is Captain Kindness, in the shadows of every frame.
Thank you so very much. Next time I won't swallow my speaking justice. Same way. Thank you so much for having me. Just a quick, the bits and pieces that you saw at the beginning, one is from the amazing Farah Biani, her words in history. I'll pop the links in the Facebook, and I'm sure they'll be on the web page as well if you want to see and hear her speak the poem that I was very privileged to animate. And the other one is, again, it's Tumblr. Piraneko on Tumblr had an idea about the dragon being the princess. So it's called The Dragon Princess. It was illustrated and narrated with Lorraine and Piraneko's permission. They sort of built this entire universe. The background music is by Alexander New. I think that's everything. Okay, done. Thank you so much.
Anke, what about your other animation that we saw at Loop Bar one time about sand?
There's a few. I'll link to the lot of them.
Yeah,
I'll
you
link to
should.
the lot of them.
So I like the one about sand.
Ah, yes. There's an entire poem about sand. Very
Sand
fascinating.
can be just as good as dragons sometimes.
Yeah, interesting stuff. There are dunes that sing, sand dunes that sing. And people who live there for their weddings, they slide down them to make a really big dune. So that's fascinating.
So that's it. Anke's feature has sort of finished, but it hasn't really, because we've got to see more online. We don't have time to do it all now. And so we must give her a massive round of applause. She's